Hello and welcome to my review of Battlestar Galactica Deadlock's new DLC expansion, Ghost Fleet Offensive. It's the second piece of DLC in the game's second season after last year's Resurrection, and it's available now. You can grab it on Steam for $15 US. Before we get into it, I'd like to point out that I was provided a review copy by the folk over at Slytherin for this video, so thanks for that. And that I'm assuming that you have a working knowledge of the base game already, as I'm not going to be talking about the core mechanics or anything of the sort. If you'd like to catch up on that before watching, then check out this video here. There's a link in the description right below that like button. So you might have noticed by the length of this video that it's a bit shorter than previous ones I've done on Deadlock. And frankly speaking, that's because there's not a whole lot new to say about it. To be honest, given Slytherin and Black Lab's track record with DLC in the past, I probably could have written 90% of this review before ever playing the new content, and probably have it be quite accurate too. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Here's what I expected before going in. An enjoyable Deadlock experience for those who already like the game, with some fun new ships and a decent campaign story, but lacking any sweeping changes that would convince those who weren't already fans to change their mind. And based on my time with Ghost Fleet Offensive, I'd say I was pretty much on the money. So knowing all that, let's get into what the DLC actually offers and whether you, as someone who still enjoys playing Deadlock, should buy it. Let's begin with what this DLC brings to the table, which is probably half the reason you're here. First and foremost, there's the new 10-mission story campaign that focuses on the titular Ghost Fleet Offensive, which might sound familiar for those who have seen the BSG spin-off movie Blood and Chrome. There are also a few new ships, two for the Colonials and one for the Cylons, and the latter also gets a couple of new munition types. Lastly, the DLC is accompanied by a new free update which comes with a new difficulty setting, UI enhancements, and a cinematic browser, among a few other things. While the free additions are of course welcome, we're here to talk about the paid content, so let's start with the campaign. Well, of course I won't spoil any story details for you. My high-level thoughts are that it was fine. I felt it didn't really pick up as quickly as I would have liked, with a few early missions feeling a bit too much like filler for my liking, which is disappointing considering that this is a priced piece of DLC. It does get better towards the end, but overall, I wasn't left blown away or sitting on the edge of my seat. It was pretty run-of-the-mill, to be honest. What I did really enjoy was the new ships though. I love seeing these types of designs added, as these ones do have some history behind them, and they translate well to Deadlock. The Orion is a standout for me, not only due to its awesome looks, but also its added functionality to the game. It comes equipped with stealth tech as standard, allowing you to set up some devastating torpedo strikes when utilised correctly. But are a few shiny new ships and a decent set of campaign missions worth the asking price? Well, that depends on who you are, and I'm pretty sure I might have said this exact thing for Deadlock's last piece of DLC. If you love the game already, and you just want more, then you've probably bought Ghost Fleet Offensive already, and you don't need me to tell you to do so. But for those who are done with the game and are really looking for something game-changing to bring you back, this unfortunately just isn't it. There's no big gameplay changes or additions, and the new ships are more support vessels than anything else. For the most part, they won't be changing your fleet dynamics in any significant way. As Deadlock receives more and more DLC as the months go by, each release has left me a bit colder on the game than the last. And to be clear, that's not because they're bad or low quality, quite the opposite actually. It's just that I think I've had my fill of the game, and each subsequent expansion isn't really bringing anything new to the table that would renew my interest in playing it for another 20 hours. And that's fine. There's a group of people who will be completely okay with this kind of content and will just be stoked to receive more of a game that they still love. I'm just unfortunately not one of those people. But that leaves us in a bit of a predicament, doesn't it? What's next for Battlestar Galactica Deadlock? I still like the idea of the game and I really enjoyed my time with it, and it's undoubtedly been a success over its nearly 3-year-long lifespan. And if I had to guess, these DLCs probably aren't that expensive to make, meaning they're probably turning a pretty good profit on them. And honestly, I really hope they are, because while they earn some cash from those, I'm hoping the team at Black Lab is turning their attention to a sequel that really develops the game's mechanics and storytelling. Personally, I think this will be the last piece of DLC I'm going to be looking at for Deadlock. unless we see some massive gameplay changes or story elements that come with them. Just because, as I said, I've had my fill of the core gameplay, and I don't think me telling you the same stuff in every expansion review is really going to help anyone. Black Lab and Slytherin have proved they can make quality DLC for those who love the game and want more of it, and I doubt that's going to change going forward. But give me a Deadlock 2 that takes place in an alternate history second Cylon War where the CNP device doesn't wipe out half the colonial fleet in one swoop, and I'm there on day one. A fair fight, modern Battlestars, new sleek Cylon designs. I get chills just thinking about it. Give us some history on Battlestars we heard of but know nothing about, like the Atlantia or the Solaris. Make some awesome late war prototype ships that are like nothing we've ever seen, all without affecting the established canon. The opportunities are almost endless. Hey, I can dream, can't I? Thanks very much for watching, everyone. There's links to both the DLC and my previous videos covering Deadlock below in the description. If you'd like to follow me for updates, then you can check out my Twitter. And if you want to hang out with the community and participate in community RTS games, then feel free to join the Discord. There's links to both of those below. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time.